What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and I've got 10 bets to share with you on the NBA. Firstly, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to you all. I hope you guys had a wonderful time with your families. I personally had some time to catch up on sleep. The first time I had 8 hours sleep in weeks. So I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling pretty good. I got 10 bets to share with you. Let's go. Before we get into the bets, though, we've got to be accountable for the bets that were already shared. In that last video, I shared a ton of bets, like 17 bets, and it bit me in the ass. It was not a smart decision to make. It was the first losing day I've had in over a week. VIP, we went 1.4 units down, which actually isn't too bad. But the number of straight bets, I was always going to run into some trouble, and boy, did I. But let's talk about it because I've got some insights and I've got a lot of learnings to take from it. A major thing was I was so close to hitting a 15-unit profit day. Some crazy parlays. We were just off. Hartenstein killed us. One Hartenstein point away. He missed a free throw with a minute left in that game. Absolutely killed me. But let's talk about the bets that I did give out. As always, I give out these bets to you. You should do your own research, pick the ones you like the most, and play them. But I ended up playing everything, and I got bit in the ass. So let's talk about it. Jaren Jackson Jr. took his over points and assists. That was a bad bet. The only thing that was good about that bet was the fact that he performs and Jar's not in the lineup. The matchup actually wasn't good, and it killed me. So that was a bad bet. Tim Hardaway, we took his under in his rebounds and assists. That's a system play. He cooked. He killed this line, but it's not a bad bet because I'm going to take it every single time, and I'll be profitable by the end of the season. Jimmy Butler points. That's a bad bet purely because I barely ever bet on Jimmy Butler in the regular season, and he did nothing. I swear to God, he was trolling, probably injured, but that was a bad bet. Brandon Miller rebounds. I didn't get to watch this game, so I can't really comment on the play. His form, the matchup was good and everything like that when I did my research, so I don't have too much to share on that. Anthony Davis, his points, that was a bad bet. His form at the start of the season was clearly an outlier. The matchup wasn't ideal for him, and he didn't get close to it. So probably going to pump the brakes on Anthony Davis for a little bit and just wait for the right matchup. Naz Reid, he played the minutes I expected. He didn't see the volume he did in the 2 games prior to the Kings. I'd say that bet was average. I don't hate myself too much for doing that. Stephon Castle points. He saw the minutes. He got the shot volume. He just didn't shoot well. It wasn't a bad read. I'd gladly take that bet again. Wemby 3-pointers, that was a bad bet. I did fall in love with the recent form. The matchup wasn't great. He made 4 3-pointers against the Lakers a couple of weeks ago, and I think that was an absolute outlier to take that play again. It was a pretty stupid bet for me. Keontae George, I took his over in assists, but before the game, Laurie and Collins, they were ruled out of the game, so he pretty much had no one to pass the ball to. Scored very well, but didn't get the assists. Dennis Schroeder assists. I posted this once Cam Thomas was ruled out. I said that the risk here is that Dennis Schroeder could go off here. If he doesn't cover his assist line, he's scoring more than 20. Scored 29 in that game. So that one, I knew what the risk was when I took the bet. Realistically, I probably could have played both sides. Maybe a bitch or beast version of Dennis Schroeder, but what can you do? And then Tyra Jerome, I took his over in points, and I expected the Cavs to beat on the Hawks, and it didn't happen. They actually lost that game, but Ty Jerome still played enough minutes, but he didn't play enough. Not what I expected anyway. We did have a lot of winners on the day, though. PJ Washington rebounds was easy. OG Anunoby rebounds and assists. Isaiah Hartenstein rebounds were great. Vucevic points and assists were pretty easy. Trae Young under his points. That got a little bit sweaty. Tyrese Maxey over his points. That was easy money. Christian Braun over his points and assists. Pretty easy. And De'Aaron Fox over his assists. I think he hit that in the third quarter. Also nailed a couple of value plays. We had LeBron triple-double, and we also added under his points. So that was a plus 900 play. Also took Hartenstein for 13 rebounds and 3 assists, plus 400. PJ Washington, 8 rebounds and 3 assists, plus 375. My call out to VIP was that I had too many bad bets on the day, and I've got to be better moving forward. Regardless, almost 44 units profit in the last 7 days. We took a lot of risks in that day, knowing we were playing with a little bit of profit. This season is going to be a whole lot of fun. So here's what I sent out to VIP. The tracker, 1.4 units. These were the different types of bets. Lost a bit of money on the player props running straight up, but the value plays kept us in a bit of profit. And this is what we had ended up winning. LeBron, we played this triple-double under his points, $25 into $250. And then we had this Isaiah Hartenstein play, $50 into $250, and PJ Washington rebounds and assists, $50 into $237. Now, those value plays and those parlays, very specific to VIP. Speaking of VIP, sent out some NFL plays today. We were 0.3 units up, 2-1 on NFL props, so nothing crazy, 1-1 on BAPS. But the thing I'm calling out here, Black Friday is here, ladies and gents. If you're interested in jumping on all my NBA bets, I'm running a sale on the season pass. So use the code Black Friday to get 60% off. There's only limited spots that are available. Now, this plan is only worth it if you're willing to bet with volume and you're willing to do it every single day. If you're not, I wouldn't even consider this plan for you. But yeah, check out the season pass. I'll leave the link for that in the video description below. Now let's get into these 10 bets, shall we? Let's go. So we're jumping into Props Madness. Props Madness is the best tool you are going to find if you want to bet on the NBA. Check it out. Link for that's in the video description. You'll get a 7-day free trial, and you'll also get 25% off if you use the code DAFT when you sign up. Let's talk about it. I've got one bet in this Knicks versus the Hornets game. Key call out here is that LaMelo Ball is out. The spread on this one is massive. It's 12.5 points. Everybody's expecting Brandon Miller to see a lot of shots and a lot of attention. The Knicks are going to be all over him. I'm not game enough to bet on his prop. He's going to be on the ball a lot more, which is a nice matchup for him. But who knows what the Knicks are going to do knowing that Brandon Miller is the key focus in attack. So I wasn't willing to take any bets on Brandon Miller. The Knicks players didn't want to touch any of them, knowing that a blowout could be imminent here. But the play that I did take was on this man, Salon. So if you did not know, Salon is a rookie from France. NBA is going to be loaded with Frenchmen in the next couple of years. But he's a spot-up shooter. And what I'm taking today is over 1.5 3-pointers made for him. Now, he's only hit this in 3 out of 16 games, but it's only been recently, last 2 games, where he started to see minutes. Up against the Orlando Magic, it's a difficult matchup for 3-point shooters. He was 0 for 2. Then up against Miami, he was 3 for 7. Great volume. Scored a ton of points, played 38 minutes in that game. Given the Hornets have so many injuries, I'm expecting him to play at least 35 minutes in this game. And his matchup here against the Knicks is a good one. Bottom 10 in 3-pointers allowed. Bottom 10 in defending above the break. Bottom 10 in defending spot-up shooters. I think Brandon Miller is going to be able to find him on some open kickouts, and he's going to be able to knock down a couple 3-pointers. We only need 2 3-pointers to cash this bet. So that's my first one. It's Salon. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, so I'm not even going to try it. The next game is the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Atlanta Hawks, and I've got a couple of plays in this one. These guys just played each other not too long ago. The Hawks got the upset win. Trae Young went crazy, 22 assists, 20 points. He absolutely murdered them. Things did not go the way that I expected. The spread in this game is 7 points. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the favorites. But what are the bets that I have in here? I had a lot of good looks in this game. Well, got a lot of looks in this game, and I changed it based on how I think the game's going to go. I don't think we see a repeat of the last game. If anything, I'd be expecting the Cavs to come back and punch him in the face and beat down on him a little bit. So I've avoided betting on the Hawks. Trae Young, I didn't bet on his assists, even though I like it. Jalen Johnson, points and assists, I like that, but I didn't bet that. I'm basically looking at one player on the Atlanta Hawks, which is Clint Capella. We'll start there. But I'm actually looking at an under for Clint today. Looking to take him for under 9.5 points. Now, he only scored 2 points in that last game against Cleveland. He only played 19 minutes. He was 1 from 7, and his matchup is absolutely awful. So Clint Capella scoring in the pick and roll, scoring in the restricted area. Up against Cleveland, tough as hell matchup. 3rd best team in the league at defending that pick and roll. Top 10 in points allowed in the paint. Clint Capella scoring 98% of his points in the paint. And Cleveland obviously got the big bodies down there, and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley to slow him down. What I like doing in games like this where they just played, I like to dissect the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is when the teams tend to put the lineup they feel most confident in this type of matchup. Clint Capella barely saw any time. Onyeka Okongwu saw the majority of the time here. I just don't think this is the right matchup for Clint Capella. So I do like he's under 9.5 points. You can get that for plus money, which is a really good look here for Clint Capella. And basically the whole idea is Cleveland beat on the Hawks. There's a potential blowout. If they don't, regardless, Clint probably still doesn't see more than 20 minutes in this game because this matchup just isn't suited to him. And I think the Cavs do a great job of still defending the rim and under the basket. So Clint Capella under 9.5 points is the first play. The next one, we head over to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The first play I'm looking at here is Donovan Mitchell over his points and assists. The line's at 31.5. In a losing effort, 37 points and assists. He did have 7 assists and 30 points in this game. I think this is the type of game where he absolutely beats on the Hawks. Didn't shoot too well, only 42% from the field in that last game. So I think he comes out and he scores a lot better. I called it out last time that Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland have the best matchup for the players on the Cavs here. Both of those guys took a whole lot of shots in that last game. I just think this makes sense for Donovan Mitchell to go absolutely crazy on these fools. He does have the Dyson Daniels matchup with the high volume of pick and rolls. I think he can easily shake free of them. In terms of the matchup, it's fantastic. The Hawks, the worst team in the league at defending pick and roll ball handlers, worst team in the league at defending above the break 3-pointers. And that's how Donovan Mitchell gets his work done. So I do like that. Looking at his assists, I added that purely because 7 assists in the last game from 10 potentials. And I think he can cover 31.5 on his points alone in this particular game. I'm expecting him to play better, but the assist gives me a little bit of a buffer, I think, because the Hawks will try to slow him down, but they're not very good at it. They're usually having a Clint Capella or an Okongwu step up, and Donovan Mitchell easily finding Jared Allen under the basket if he needs to. Or he'll just score it himself. So Donovan Mitchell, I do like his over in points and assists in a bounce back game here. I think the Cavs give it to the Hawks today. And my last play, Evan Mobley. So all these plays, you could say that they're somewhat correlated. So if you wanted to put these three in a same game parlay, you could because they follow the same recipe. You basically want to take Cavs money line, Capella under his points. You can take Mitchell over his points, and then Evan Mobley over his rebounds. So I took the over 9.5 rebounds today. He has been rebounding quite well, 4 out of his last 5. He had 12 rebounds in that game against Atlanta. And you have to keep in mind the Atlanta Hawks shot the ball quite well. I don't expect them to shoot that well in this game, so there should be more rebound opportunities for Evan Mobley. Now, one thing I like about the rebound prop here is the Atlanta Hawks. They give up a ton of rebounds. They're bottom 8 in the league in rebounds allowed. And the pace of this game is going to be electric. Both the Hawks and the Cavs play with a very high pace, so there's going to be a whole lot of rebound opportunities. So I do like Evan Mobley to dominate on the boards. He killed them with 12 this year. Last year in head-to-head matchups against them, he had 19 rebounds in that last matchup. So I am liking Evan Mobley to absolutely eat the boards up today. I might even run a value play for him to get more than the line that's set here. So they're the 3 plays in this game. Let's jump into the next one. We've got the Pelicans versus the Grizzlies. Ja Morant is back, and Ja Morant is who we're betting on today. I'm taking his over in his points plus assists today up against the Pelicans. Now, he's only hit this in 5 out of 9 games this season. Up against the Pels, though, this matchup is ideal for Ja Morant to score a whole lot of points and also dime up as well. When it comes to scoring the ball, the matchup is ideal. This Pelicans team, not great defending in transition, and they're not good defending under the basket. That's exactly what Ja Morant does. 30% of his points are in transition, and he's got, 70% of his points are in the paint. So Ja Morant should be able to drive at will here and score a whole lot of points. I also like his assists in this one, given that he's covered his assist line of 7.5 in 7 out of 9 games. The Pelicans, 5th most assists allowed in the league. They've got the 3rd worst defensive rating. They allow a whole lot of points in the paint, and guards as of late have been killing them. So I do like Ja Morant to just go over his points and his assist prop. I just put them both together. You could pick either one if you could only get one available. I do like them both. So Ja Morant should eat against his Pelicans team today. I didn't take any other bets in this game. The Pels, a lot of players coming back from injury or playing their second game. There's no reliable data here. I think Ja Morant is the best bet in that game. Pump of the brakes real quick to remind you guys about Boom Fantasy's Black Friday promo. So for this entire week, they are boosting their pick and spin feature. They're the only ones who have this pick and spin feature. Pretty much, you pick a 2-man entry, so 2 different players to go over or under their prop lines, but you can spin the wheel and you can get 2x that, all the way up to 500x. During this promotional period, the minimum you'll get is 3x what the original payout is, and it goes all the way up to 1,000x as well. So sign up to Boom Fantasy or any of my partners using the links below in the video description. And if you do happen to make your first deposit, I'll also give you a month of my VIP picks for free. So instructions for that are in the video description below. You scratch my back and I'll be sure to scratch yours, my friend. So go ahead and check them out. Let's get back to the last 5 bets. So jumping into the Clippers versus the Wolves, I've got 2 different bets in this game. Let's talk about the first one. It's Julius Randle. I'm actually looking to take an under here against Julius Randle, and you might think I'm crazy because he's been playing pretty good as of late. But I'm taking his under in his PRA. Managed to catch a 32.5 here for Julius Randle, taking his under 32.5 PRA. So there's a 50% hit rate on the season. He does happen to get very close to this a lot of the time, but I love the fact that he's got a difficult-ass matchup today against the Los Angeles Clippers. Julius Randle scoring the spot up, scoring in the restricted area. This Clippers team, very good defensively, top 5 defensive rating, top 12 in terms of points allowed in the restricted area. And when it comes to defending spot up shooters, they're top 7 in the league. So for Julius Randle, the filter that I want to run with, just looking at defensive rating here, this Clippers team, top 5 defensive rating in the league. If we look at how he's performed against the teams that are in the top 10, Julius Randle's only covered this line in 1 out of 5 games. He is averaging 30 PRA. If this line is only available at 31.5, I'd probably stay away. Managed to catch us at a 32.5. I thought was pretty good value. So happy to take Julius Randle here. I understand that it is a cup game, and the cup games, you could say starters get more minutes or whatever it may be. But I've looked into the games where his other cup games, he's actually only gone over in 1 out of the 3 cup games. He had this game against Portland, finished with 19 PRA. I think it was this game against the Kings. He finished with 35 PRA. That game was high scoring as hell, and the pace was wild. And he had this game against Houston Rockets, where he finished on 30 PRA. This Clippers team played a very slow pace. They're a great defensive team, and I don't think Julius Randle eats today. So I'm taking his under 32.5 PRA. The other play that I'm taking here is on Ivica Zubac. And I'm taking his over in points and rebounds, over 25.5 points and rebounds for Zoo. Actually, that's a lie. I took him at 26.5. 25.5 is available in Prize Picks and DraftKings, but I took the 26.5 for Zubac, and he's over this in 3 straight games. His matchup against the Wolves here, not the best one when it comes to scoring the ball, because he scores a lot in the post, and they've got Rudy down there. But at the same time, he's been eating against teams who allow points in the paint. And this Minnesota team, bottom 7 in the league in terms of points allowed in the paint. Now, if we muck around with these filters and we look at the games, the teams where he's played, the bottom 15 teams in points in the paint allowed. Here it is. I mucked up my filters. This is Zubac, excluding the top 15 teams in the league in points in the paint allowed, and Zubac's been eating them alive. 9 out of 10 games this season, he's gone over his points and rebounds in this type of matchup. This Minnesota Timberwolves try to limit points on the perimeter, but they'll give it up in the paint, and that's where Zubac's expected to shine here. So I do like it. The rebound props, they should be able to land in his lap up against Rudy Gobert, who's not going to stray too far from the ring. Zoo should be in a good position all night to grab some boards. So I'm just taking his points and his rebounds. I took the 26.5. If you can get a 25.5, even better. But I do like his over in this game. Jumping into the next one, we've got the Raptors versus the Heat. I'm staying away from the Heat. I don't like betting on any of them. The Raptors, Scotty Barnes only a few games in. I'm just staying away from that game altogether. Now, we do have the Boston Celtics against the Chicago Bulls, and normally I get really excited when the Bulls are playing, but I don't like betting on the Boston Celtics right now. The whole Porzingis coming back does interrupt things a little bit. So if you look at the numbers, and I think a lot of people are going to be betting on Boston Celtics players today, and that's because a lot of their hit rates are going to look excellent, and the matchup's going to look great. But you got to keep in mind, a lot of these numbers for the Boston Celtics have moved down with the addition of Porzingis. So you have to factor that into every single bet that you make. And I can't be bothered playing with that many filters. They should eat. I was leaning Derek White points and assists or Drew Holiday points and assists. I think they're both a good look. I just thought, why take the risk? One of them could shine and one of them couldn't. So I didn't like that. And with the Bulls players, I'd love to take an under, but there are some times where the Celtics just don't play defense, and you'd be surprised what they give up. So I wasn't game enough to play anything there. So hopefully the Bulls get to play very, very soon so I can take some more bets on them. But we do have the Detroit Pistons versus the Indiana Pacers. Now, I do have a bet on this game, and the one that I'm looking at here is Tyrese Halliburton over his points prop. I took him over 19.5 points, very close to plus money. And why did we do that? So his last 3 games, he started to cook 21, 34, and 28 points for Tyrese Halliburton. What I love about this is he's shooting very well from downtown at the moment, close to 50%. His shot volume is also sky high. I do like that when he's shooting the ball with more confidence. And he's up against the Pistons today. And he's got the best matchup for anyone on this Pacers squad. The Pistons, not great at pick and roll coverage. They're not very good at defending the pick and roll ball handlers at all. Bottom 4 in the league in defending that. Where they are good is limiting points around the rim, limiting points in transition. And the reason why I call that out is because that's how Pascal scores. That's how Benedict Mathurin scores. And if both of those guys have a tough matchup, I expect a lot of points from Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner today. Tyrese Halliburton comes in this game in much better form, and I think there's a good bounce back spot. They opened their season against the Detroit Pistons. Halliburton played 35 minutes. Only scored 15 points in that game, shot awfully. Took 18 shots, which you'd expect because the Pistons force ball handlers to shoot. But he was only 6 from 18, 1 from 9 from deep. The only 3-pointer he made was in the last 20 seconds of the game. It was pretty clutch. But even though he was shooting poorly in that game, he wasn't shy. He kept throwing it up. And that's what I expect to see from Tyrese Halliburton today, to take a whole lot of shots. and hopefully can cover this 20-point line here against the Detroit Pistons. No bets on the Pistons. We don't know if Cade Cunningham's going to play or not. I think a lot of people are going to be betting on Jalen Duren, but that guy is way too inconsistent for my liking. The reason why a lot of people are going to be betting on Jalen Duren, he's got strong form against the Pacers, but in all those games against the Pacers, he played about 30 minutes. Looking back on the games he's played in the last week, hasn't gone close to 30 minutes. So that was my risk, and I didn't take Jalen Duren for that reason. Tim Hardaway Jr. is playing in this game. I wonder what his rebounds and assist line is. It's at 4.5, of course. We're looking at minus 150, minus 140 to the under, though. And I do think he definitely goes under, but I don't love the odds there, so I'm not touching that. Then we move to the OKC Thunder versus the Lakers, and I've got two different bets on this one. I've got nothing for the Lakers. Obviously, can't trust AD right now. The matchup looks difficult on paper, but you got to keep in mind OKC, they've only had Hartenstein back for about 3 games, so their defensive structures are going to change. I'm not willing to take any bets on AD right now. LeBron James, not really feeling LeBron. I got the win on him last time. Does he? If I was going to bet on LeBron, I'd probably do something really risky, under in his points, over in his rebounds, over in his assists is what I'd be thinking. But the bets that I did take, let's talk about that. 2 guys from OKC. The very first one, I took Jalen Williams over his points prop, 22.5 points. Absolutely love this play here. Now, Jalen Williams, why did I take it? 1, this Lakers team, their defense is atrocious. Take a look at this green. Jalen Williams scores in transition, gets the restricted area. The Lakers, bottom 2 in the league in defending the transition. They're slow, they're old, they're lazy. If he runs, he's going to get some buckets that way. He scores buckets in the paint, right under the basket. And the Lakers, one of the worst teams in the league at defending that spot on the floor, despite having Anthony Davis in the lineup. They got a bottom 5 defensive rating. They allow the 3rd most points in the paint. And if you take a look at the games that Jalen Williams has played without Chet Holmgren, where he's had this great matchup, actually, you don't have to look at the matchup. Just look at the games and how he's played without Chet. Over in 6 out of 8 games, he injured his eye in that last game against the Warriors. The reports say that his eye's all sweet, no limitations, but he was killing the Warriors in that time. 16 minutes, had 13 points in that one. He was well on track for 25 to 30, and I think he can get 25 to 30 here against the Lakers. So I do like Jalen Williams to get some buckets today. The matchup's great, and I hate the Lakers. My next play, Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm going back to it, baby. Taking his over in rebounds, 10.5. He's hit this in 2 out of 3 games this season. Up against the Lakers, mid-tier when it comes to rebounds allowed. They do allow a whole lot of points in the paint. I think Isaiah Hartenstein, he's getting the start today. Obviously, he's going to need to. He's going to play as many minutes as possible, given AD's out there. The only risk, I think, in this Isaiah Hartenstein play is the foul trouble. He tends to do a whole lot of dribble handoffs, which is going to lead to a lot of offensive fouls. But I do like the rebounds prop. The volume is going to be nice. He'll get over 30 minutes in this game. He'll get a ton of rebound chances. It all comes down to whether he can secure them. Now, up against the Kings, he only had 10 rebounds, but the Kings, one of the better rebounding teams in the league. So I'd take him up to 11.5, to be honest with you. 12, 13 rebounds is where I think he lands on today. So I do like iHeart over his boards against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, that's all I got for you guys today. 10 different bets. Hopefully you do your own research as well, but take the ones that you like the most and play those. If you have to run parlays, please stick to 2 to 3. Or if you're going to run parlays with more players, reduce your stakes. It's pretty much that simple. I'd encourage you to put 1 unit on these if you're running straight bets, and then you can bet a quarter unit on parlays or half a unit if you want to. Just be smart, have a strategy in place, and go crazy with it. I also wanted to celebrate the fact we got 15,000 subscribers after the last video as expected. We're getting like 1,000 new subscribers every 2 days, so we are well and truly blowing up. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I'm dropping heat like this every single day. So go ahead and do it. I appreciate y'all. Best of luck. I hope your slip's green out today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.